So you are welcome, everyone. Good evening. And you are welcome to the Tech Biz Transformation Series. And you know that this series is brought to you by Co-Innovation Center. The whole idea is to support you, the entrepreneur, and support your business as well, helping you build your business, adapt to today's realities, and of course, get to a point where your business actually thrives and you are achieving the goals that you define for your business. As an introduction, if you don't know me, my name is Doja Ikeruche. I host this series every single Thursday, and we've been doing this for many, many months. And I'm so happy to keep hearing feedback from you, from people who join about the impact that the program continues to have. And we bring, of course, world-class professionals, experts who have walked the journey and the path of whatever subject it is that they're telling you. So it's not just about sharing something they read in the textbook, it's about sharing real life experience and stories. And our speaker today is also in that space. I'll introduce him in good time. In the meantime, you see all the social media handles at the bottom there. Very important one is to go to our website, www.ecoicenter.com/webinar. If you go there, you'd see the various topics that we have taken on over the last so many months. And the topics are so varied. They cover the different aspects, different spectrum of entrepreneurship, whether it's financing, whether it's people management, whether it's sourcing for funds, whether it's defining your strategy and even how to execute. You have quite a lot of resource sitting in there in ecoicenter.com/webinar. So feel free to go in there. The videos are there, the presentations are there as well. So last one, housekeeping as usual. You'd see everyone is on mute. And we will take the presentation for about 25 to 30 minutes, and then we will take your questions. In the meantime, while the presentation is going on, you can always ask your question in the chat box. You can put in any topical issue, of course, related to what we're talking about, topical issue in the chat box as well. And then after the presentation, you can raise your hand, we can unmute you, so we have a conversation. Now I'll talk a little bit about Eco Innovation Center. And for those of us who have consistently been part of TechBiz, you'll be familiar with the Eco Innovation Center hubs. But you do know it's about supporting your businesses to accelerate and then commercialize whatever innovation that you are, of course, have ambitions to do. And the different pillars, I think it's so important. I always like to talk about the learning, because the learning is about you, it's about even your team, your talents within your organization, and also making people employable, right, within our community, knowing that that is a real challenge that we have. So we have the data school, we have product schools, and of course we have this series. Guys, just to highlight again that the data school and the product school, every now and then we do run mass scholarships, because the whole idea is our purpose is about solving poverty. And if you want to solve poverty, we have to empower people, particularly the people at the bottom of the pyramid. The same way I would encourage you within your businesses, where you find the opportunity to support, to help people. And helping is not about giving them fish, it's about teaching them how to fish. So you upskill people in order to make them employable and enable them to add value and gain value from the society. Last one to talk about, I mean, the rest you can read. Acceleration, that's the standard thing that every hub must do. Research and sustainability, civic tech, getting governments to deliver services to citizens. But I'd like to talk about TechBiz Nation, if you have not heard about it. That is the community that EIC has for entrepreneurs. The community lives on Telegram, and we use that as a platform to continue our conversations after the webinar. We also bring, information, knowledge, and we share experiences. I think the critical thing is we know that we have to learn from other people's experiences. We're not going to start by making our own mistakes as well. So the TechBiz Nation link will be posted in the chat box. Elvis, please do that. Elvis is my team member. He will post it. please click on the link and then you join. Should you want to share any information or need any help, info@ecoinnovationhub.com. Okay, so that's it for introductions. 5 minutes on the dot. Afolabi, look at that.
I can see that.
Okay. So we came here to talk about digital innovation, right? And I'm so pleased, so excited to introduce, Afolabi. Okay, and he's an expert. I've had a few conversations with him, and I know that today is going to be a wow, because his experience and the stories that he's going to share for sure is going to open up our minds and help us think about digital innovation in a much, much simpler way. Because sometimes we think about it as, something complex, something high in the sky and the rest. But it's just simply about using digital technology, right? Digital technology, digital apps to improve your business, improve your efficiencies, and definitely, of course, help you to make more money, right? That's what we expect. And if you look at everything that has happened to us in year 2020, if your business is not driven by digital, then it will be actually impossible to survive. So, Afolabi, I'm going to hand it over to you so that you show us how we can grow our business with digital innovation. You can now share your screen. The control is on your side. And then take it over for the next 25 minutes. I will try as much as possible not to interrupt. It's a subject I'm so passionate about, but anyway, I'll let you do your thing. And after that, we ask our questions.
Let me just quickly share my screen now. My name is Afolabi Oke. I'm really very grateful for the opportunity given me to present to you this afternoon. I believe everybody can see my screen.
Yes.
Can you see my screen? Okay. Thank you for having me. Like I said, my name is Afolabi Oke. I've been in business. I started Global InfoSwift 16 years ago, and started this technology company. And we've grown in leaps and bounds, and thank God for that. However, this afternoon, I want to make it as simple as possible, the things we really need to do to grow our business, First of all, a practical example, which is a quote that I love to share with people, that I took the telephone a couple of years ago. We don't know how we were existing without a mobile phone. It took 78 years for telephone to get over 100 million users. It took Candy Crush just 1 year to achieve the same thing. Why? Because of technology. Make it as simple as possible. A lot of people think that this is so far-fetched, okay? Particularly people that are not IT savvy. What exactly is this digital innovation? What does it really mean to you? Basically, in layman's terms, is basically a process of scaling up or using technologies to either modify or create new business opportunities and obviously improve your processes, okay? It's as simple as that. So what exactly do you do today, okay? Either you're making people's hair, either you're doing makeup. How can I use technology to basically promote, okay, my business? Okay? It's as simple as that. I'll give you a practical example. COVID has taught us so many things. A lot of people before now found it extremely difficult to do schooling online, okay? It was either my teacher has to always be in front of me, okay? Physical classes was the norm, but today, a lot of our children, a lot of people, a lot of students have been forced to the virtual class, okay? Whether we like it or not, data indeed has become life, all right? So that is the transition. It's going to go on and on. So a lot of people have problems with their businesses today. Okay, the question is that what exactly can I do? You know, a lot of businesses today, like I said earlier, if you're not embracing technology, okay, if you're not rolling out technology or finding ways to improve your processes through technology, you may be out of business in the next few years. And the challenges a lot of people have is they're stuck in their old ways, okay? They're stuck, they don't want to integrate, they're stuck with their legacy and legacy solutions that they may have, and they're not open-minded, they're not open to change. Okay, you see some people say, this is how I've been doing it for the past 20 years and I've succeeded in it and it has to be like that. No, this is time for us to all open our minds and see how we have to begin to do things differently using technology. Okay, and that is very, very, very important. Okay, how do you go about really using technology? What is this really all about? One thing that is so simple and very clear, that must be very clear in your mind, is customer. We hear this word, customer is king. It is so true. You have to start with your customer in mind. What exactly does my customer need? What exactly do I need to do, okay, to attract my customer? There's so many people in the same line of business, for example, who are trying to attract the same customer as. And I'll give you a practical example. This is something that has really helped my business. A couple of years ago, in about 2008, all right, I went around, I was struggling, you know, I went around to, I call it knock on my customer door. So I go around and keep knocking on their door and asking them questions. What exactly, where would you like to see your business in the next 1 or 2 years? Okay, I've done quite a bit in the financial sector. I remember that I knocked on the door of First Bank at that time. And First Bank told me, look, I want to be the first organization to embrace ISO certification because it was not known then. The reason why a lot of our products are not exportable is because of lack of standards. Okay, if you go to Europe, everything you find in London will probably be the same thing you find in Germany because they have standards, okay, but which is what we lack here. And First Bank told me then that they were looking to strengthen the information assets that they had. Okay, I didn't know anything about ISO at that time, and I said, "Is this what you want?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Please try me out, give me the bid, and I'll compete." Then they said, "Look, you can't do it. You're a small company. You're going to be competing with likes of Deloitte and KPMG, you know, all the branded companies, the top 5, as the case was then." And I said, "Look, give me a chance." And they gave me the proposal to bid at that time in 2009. And guess what? I bidded with all of these global companies and I won. Why? Because I went back to go and study what ISO was. And believe you me, by 2010, I got First Bank of Nigeria certified to ISO 27001, information security, the first financial organization to be certified to information security. Okay, immediately they got certified. Central Bank was at the presentation ceremony. Then it was Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi was the central bank governor, and he was very passionate. He said, "Look, for you to have done this for First Bank, please come and do the same for Central Bank." By 2013, I got Central Bank certified to ISO 27001. And guess what? You need to sell yourself. So what I did was that I did a little video on how I achieved Central Bank, okay, how I helped them to achieve the ISO standard using BSI, British Standard Institute. They came into Nigeria then to audit them. And guess what? I did a little video and I promoted it online. I also did physical copy and sent it to all bank MDs. Afterwards, Central Bank mandated all the banks to comply to this same standard. Guess what? Because my information was all over the place, everybody began to engage. Who did it for Central Bank? Get this guy. This is the guy. I was able to do at least minimum 35 to 40% of the banks. Why? Because I was able to promote what I'd done, all right? So it is important for you to consistently innovate and ask your customers, what would they want to see, all right? Today, I'm still doing the ISO standard for a lot of organizations, and to make it the icing on the cake for me is because of my track record. Central Bank also engages me once a year to help them to audit the banks. Why? From one single conversation from one customer who was able to share his or her dream with me. Which customer are you sitting with today that is sharing their dreams with you? you need to keep asking what do they want to see? Customer is always king. The more you spend time with your customer, the better for you. You need to focus on exactly what they want, okay? And there's several stories that we have today, okay? Many customers have different reasons why they're attracted to a particular business, okay? It doesn't matter the product they have, okay, or the services they're offering. There's something unique about them that makes people stick to them. What do you have in your hands today? What are you currently doing that you can improve by helping to satisfy what your customer needs? All right. Practical example, we all know about Kuda, the Kuda story, the Kuda Bank, and Paystack. Paystack started as a basic company a couple of years ago. All right. But they also had one thing very clear. They knew exactly what the customer wanted. They knew people were tired of going into the banking hall and spending hours on ending just to do one single and basic transaction. Okay, so they came up with this idea, Kuda Bank. It's a bank of the free with no charges. It takes you 3 minutes for you to actually open an account, as against going into a banking hall, brick and mortar, and spending hours just because you want to open an account. You can imagine me sitting in the comfort of my home, and in 3 minutes I'm online, I'm able to open an account and basically start my business. Okay, so it's important. And today, Paystack, all right, has been, they've gotten direct foreign investment, over $200 million, okay, has been invested, or more or less taking over this little business that started a couple of years ago. So what are you doing currently, and how can you use technology to probably improve your business and able to meet the demands or the requests of your customers? Question is, what are the things that you need to do to increase customer business interaction? What are the things you need to do? I want to try and keep this as simple as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first thing is you need to increase communication with your customers. Like I said to you, my own practical example, if I did not go around in 2008 to go and have communication, to communicate with my customers, to understand exactly what they want to see, okay, in the next few years, I may never know. I would not have stumbled onto that unique opportunity that has made a huge difference to my business in the last couple of years. Okay, so it's important that you consistently interact with your customers, okay, and then have better products and varieties. Do things different ways to make sure that you are innovating to satisfy your customer. Okay, what exactly? You must be able to meet the needs of that particular customer, all right? Because we are all competing within the same space, how do I leave a lasting impression, okay, with your customers, the way you communicate? Communication is key. You have to learn it. You have to improve on your soft skills. You have to learn how to always communicate in diverse ways with your customer. Today, there are several mediums where we can communicate with our customers. With social media today, it's made it a lot easier. But a lot of us use social media for other things as against improving our business. All right. Another thing that is important is, how do I then implement this so-called digital innovation in my business? What do I need to do? First of all, you need to have a flexible IT environment, have the right technology to power up your business strategies, have the right technology to power up. In today's world, whatever you're selling, as long as you can align your strategy with digital, you will definitely make money. Number 2 is you need to personalize your customer experience, okay? Today's buyer wants organizations to treat them very uniquely. You need to know how to ensure that you're able to treat your customer in a very unique manner. Customer is always king, and have reference to their purchase history. Another thing that is important is a seamless multi-channel experience, which obviously social media platform has given all of us today. But the question is, what am I using my social media platform for? Am I just using it just to make myself more popular? What exactly am I using the social media platform for? Can you hear me, please? Okay. Another thing is, what are the opportunities? What opportunities does digital innovation truly offer me? What opportunities does digital innovation offer me? Number one, okay, it helps you to sell your goods and services digitally. It makes it a lot easier for people to reach you, okay? Technology, like I said earlier, Paystack, they made it easier for a lot of people to be able to buy and sell, okay, in the easiest way, easiest format, all right? Number two, you need to create a network of super fans, people that really love you and love your business, all right? And to create that, you need to consistently engage. You have to keep engaging on a daily basis. And like I said, listen to what your customer wants. Listen to their intention. Listen to what they intend to do or what their goal or vision is. That way you can align your strategy with that. Number three, you need to automate your business processes. You need to automate your business processes. And how do I automate my business process? Okay. Today, financial organizations, it takes a lot for you to go and secure a loan in the bank. Some companies just sat down and said, look, I need to be able to solve this problem. Rather than going into the bank to request for a loan, today, there are different apps all over the place. Within few minutes, it will give you criteria of all the things that you need to do. And once you apply, in less than 5 minutes, you can get a loan from the bank. Okay, something that used to be extremely, extremely difficult before. Today, the banks are chasing you. You have different organizations with different apps that can help you or help the bank make a quick decision, and you get the loan that you want. So your business process can be somewhat tasking, but you need to invest in it to ensure that you automate that process. Once you're able to automate that process, it makes it a lot easier for your customer to reach you. Another thing that is very critical is that you must create a network, like I said earlier, of your super fans. And how do we do that? All right. If you look at a lot of the, in quote, celebrities today, they're doing a lot of their businesses. They spend so much time and energy online. Why? Because that is where they sell their service. So exactly what are you doing on your social media platforms today? Is it you just want people to see how pretty or how lovely you are? No, you must think of the business you want to sell using your social media platform. Very, very, very important. Okay, it's not just about having fans, excuse me, but it's about how you can create value. It's all about creating value. Another thing that is very unique is, how does this digital innovation impact your business? A practical example, Netflix started out as a simple mail order company, but they ended up disrupting the entire brick and mortar video rental business. In those days, okay, we go to a business shop, we're going to hire five films, you know, and then you take it home. It takes about a week or two for you to finish watching those films, and then you return them, they charge you, and all of those things. But today, they have completely disrupted that. From the comfort of your home, you can watch as many films as possible. And by 2009, because they innovated, they made over $1.86 billion in 2019 alone. You can imagine how much by end of 2020, how much they would have made, Netflix, because during the lockdown, during COVID, a lot of us spent a lot of time with our families watching Netflix. So you can imagine how much you're paying for somebody else's innovation, somebody else's service. The question you need to ask yourself honestly is that, what can I create that ensures that when I'm sleeping, I'm making money. When I'm awake, I'm making money. Whatever you're doing, money is in your account. What is that thing? You need to sit back and ask yourself honestly, how can I ensure that my business can be such that while I'm sleeping, I'm making money. You need to learn to innovate, thereby increasing your overall efficiency and more money that leads to growth. Okay? Now, what is digital innovation? Why is digital innovation really needed? It is needed in today's world because digital innovation has done well to prove that it will continue live by its name and implementation. It doesn't matter what you think, because one thing that has come to stay is that life has come to change for the better. COVID has made all of us to realize that it can no longer be business as usual. Whether you're a small and medium business, a startup, or a big multinational brand, it has become increasingly important for us to embrace technology, because gaining space in the mind of your customers is key. It has become harder. Why? Because a lot of people are churning out a lot of information on a daily basis. What do I need to do to ensure that I stand out? What do I need to do to ensure that my business is truly, truly unique? There's several examples that we have, even in today's world, okay? There's so many people that are selling a lot of very unique things online. And before you know what's happening, they're opening several other shops, okay? They're opening different sales points all over the place. A practical example, in the central bank has today, they've opened another stream of opportunities, agency banking. So you can go ahead as a small business and apply to be an agent to any bank, okay? And the whole idea is to be part of their inclusion strategy. So you go and apply to a bank to be an agency, to be their agent, and you can sell to the grassroots the package that the banks have. And you'll be amazed how much commission and how much money you'll be making. How can a small business leverage digital innovation for growth? Okay, there are lots of instances we can make here for businesses looking to scale up. Okay, I've given a practical example about Paystack, owned by Shola Akinlade. That is, in fact, that's the biggest news that we have as at this year. Okay, $200 million for a business that started a couple of years ago. I think it is good investment. All right, because one of the things that was key to them is they continue to innovate. Okay, addition of other payment like USSD, okay, that was not on their platform before. They were ensuring that they had mobile money, Visa, and so on and so forth, preventing data loss and app downtime to increase customer confidence and customer trust. Okay, so again, they made payments for business really very possible. Okay, the question is, what problem are you trying to solve? Okay, within your society? You need to look around and see, what problem can I use technology to solve? Okay, and begin to think of the strategy of the how to solve that problem. So the question again is, how can you structure a business and mindset to be in the position to continuously innovate? Okay, if you have a test, and I have 3 companies to compare even now. For example, company 1, it said X company has a workforce that comes to the office to work but clocks in with the help of a supervisor, with the help of a human being. If the human being is not there tomorrow, what happens to your business? The second company has a workforce who can only clock in by using an automated machine placed by the entrance of the office. Okay? What happens if COVID happens and they're not able to get there? What will happen? How about the third that has a workforce that will clock in at the entrance of the office and will also need to use time tracking app like my X salary, okay, using the intranet installed in the office or otherwise even a website. So that means wherever I go as a staff, okay, my time tracking app can track the work I'm doing for my company. Okay, which company will progress faster? Okay. COVID has taught a lot of us that we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to go back and look inwards and see, what can I do differently? What can I do to improve my business? Okay, I have a lot of young people that come to meet me and some people that I mentor asking me, how can I do this? How can I do this? You need to go and learn. We have the University of YouTube today, all right, that can teach you anything you really want to know about. But we need to get up and make sure we read and educate our minds, educate ourselves to be able to understand where technology is going. And what do I need to do today to ensure that I can improve my tomorrow? They say yesterday is in the womb, tomorrow is in the tomb. Today is really your life. What are you doing today to ensure that you have the tomorrow that you desire? You cannot spend the whole of your day just being on social media and gossiping and seeing what others are doing. What are you doing, okay, today that will improve your own tomorrow? All right? It is very, very important that we look inwards. I'm going to be concluding with a very simple quote as well. Whether we like it or not, particularly in our country, Nigeria, we have gotten to a point where you cannot even you can do multiple things, all right? You can be an employer of labor, okay, even at what age that you are. You can start your own business online. It's as simple as ABC. Whatever you want to do, just start now. Just start now. No matter what that thing is, you can always use technology to improve. All right? You can use technology to improve whatever you plan to do. I know a lot of people that are selling stuff that is not even theirs. They're just getting from other friends and they're posting on an existing website that they have created. And you'll be amazed how much money they're making. I know people that are making clothes and they're posting it online and they're making money on a daily basis. What is in your hands today? The biggest challenge a lot of us have is the fear to start. You need to start from somewhere. No matter where you are, you can truly make a difference. You can make a difference. You need to start thinking and reading and educating yourself. All right? It doesn't matter what that thing is. You can make a huge difference. All right? There are people today, a couple of years ago, they never believed they would be where they are today. They started small and start promoting on Instagram a few businesses, a few ideas that they have. And today, okay, with the standard that we have in our country, they say they don't blow. Why wouldn't they blow? Because they were consistent. You need to be consistent with what you do, and you need to consistently innovate. Think of how you can improve your processes and do things differently. All right, very, very important. And I'm going to leave you with one simple quote because my time is almost up, and I've promised that I will really be on time. It's part of business discipline. And the quote is about Martin Luther King. And he says, "Never follow where the path may lead." He said, "Rather follow where there is no path and ensure that you leave a trail." What trail are you leaving in what legacy are you planning to leave? You don't have to always copy everybody every time. All right, you can learn from them, but Martin Luther King says, never follow where the path may lead. Rather, follow where there is no path and leave a trail. Leave your own legacy, okay? And do things differently, all right? And I believe together we will succeed, all right? Even if you're working for someone, for those that have read Poor Dad, a very interesting book that I read a couple of years ago, Poor Dad, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He says, even if you're working for someone, mind your own business. Start a little business on the side that can generate extra funds for you. Before you know what's happening, you will probably leave that job and focus on your own business. So mind your own business, okay? Never follow where the path may lead, rather follow where there is no path and leave it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for your time. I'm willing to take questions. I have 2 more minutes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Afolabi. That's some real discipline there. Thank you so much. But amazing value bombs, and thank you for the passion, right? Create your path and then leave a trail. That's really, really amazing. And Owoicho, I hope I pronounced it properly, says, wow, so impactful. Because you really talk about what the absolute fundamentals that help us indeed execute and accelerate and scale using technology. And it all starts, I really appreciate what you say when you say it starts from the customer. You have to be obsessive about understanding and knowing the customer. The example of Kuda was just excellent because you said, listen, people had a pain point, and that pain point was going into the bank, spending time, filling tons and tons of forms, and then Kuda Bank creates a complete alleviation of their pain points and simplifies the process. Hey, why not? Of course they will win. So thank you, Afolabi. I think there are many questions. I had a lot of questions prior, but best to take some questions that are in the chat box. Permit me, I'll be looking down because I'm looking at my PC. That's where I can see the chats. So I'll be reading out questions if there's any in the chat box. But in the meantime, anyone wants to ask their question verbally, please feel free to raise your hand and you can ask. But I asked you already, rural Nigeria, right? Yes. That's a very critical question. Is with my whole drive on digital innovation, social media, technology, software applications, all of those tools. How do I bring such solutions to rural Nigeria? Someone asked about, kids in rural areas, education. How do you bring edutech to kids in rural areas? How do you bring tech services or digitally enabled tech services to rural Nigeria? How do you do that?
Okay, I'm part of the team also. I mean, I have interaction within the central bank. We've had this discussion in several meetings talking about financial inclusion. For example, today, everybody has got, even in the rural areas, shoemakers and all the people in the rural areas, today, everybody has some sort of phone. Smartphones, at least you have a device in your hand, okay? And that is why the government, the central bank, they're looking for means of helping to reach out to these people. We're working on technology where even if you don't have internet on your phone, you're able to do some transactions. So when you eventually do it, it's going to sync. The question is, how do we ensure that the phone, what is in our hands, we can capitalize on it? They don't have access to everything in the rural areas, but I believe at least they have one thing, phone now. Phone penetration is now to reach out to a lot of people. So how can we use that device in their hands, to send as many communications to them as possible? So it's again about inclusion. How do we ensure that we include all of those people? So right now, I know about several projects that have been initiated where the telcos are trying to ensure that we have services offered to the rural area. Okay, it's a bundle where you have light, you have access to basic phone services that will ensure that you are included within the financial inclusion policy, and you can do a lot of things, educate yourself online using your phone, and so many other things that the government is doing. Bottom line is, yes, within 120 million people and 776 government, I believe we can do the concerted effort has consistently worked with government, local government, and begin to challenge them to ensure that this infrastructure gets the pyramid.
Amazing. Thank you, Afolabi. The inclusion is so critical. And you just said 120 million people. That's like 4 or 5 countries, put together. So that for sure is an amazing customer base just waiting for us to tap into. I'm going to start unmuting people. I'll start with Sheriff Bello. I've requested you to unmute. Please unmute yourself and speak.
Good evening, sir, Mr. Falabi. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you, Sheriff?
I'm fine, sir. So though I came in late to join the program, but with little, I was able to, so in fact, I learned a lot, and I heard you talking about reaching the target audience. Then we try to constantly adapt and innovate now to meet up with the challenges. The development globally. So, but my question is this: if we take a look at the, education sectors, for instance, because currently I'm a Teach for Nigerian fellow. You discover that there are a lot of problems in the education sector that ranges from staff infrastructure, funding, and all of that, particularly high. So I want to one of the major problem I want to solve is staff development, exactly. So how staff, teachers in Nigeria can actually make use of what technology, the way they can bring technology into the classroom to teach. So if I want to, to facilitate in this regard, what advice can you give them? What are the steps or the things I need to do to actually, take up the challenges and succeed in it, sir?
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Sheris. Afolabi, could you just pause, right? Because I have quite a number of hands. So to make this a lot more dynamic, could you allow us take another 2 more and then you pull them together? Does that help?
That's fine.
Thank you. So John, I've requested that you unmute. Please go ahead. John Olorunokwe.
Good evening, ma. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for this value. I'm fine. I'm John from Jigawa State. My question is also educationally inclined. Now, I'm a co-founder of a school, of a nursery and primary school. When we started, the parents that we had then, our fee was very small and people were bringing children, but we kept improving. Now with the COVID, I've discovered that we need to move as fast as possible. Just from what you said, that we need to move. Companies or organizations that don't move, that does not go tech-wise, are going to be left behind. Now, customer is king. I've been trying to think of the best way to tell some of the parents that we need to move as fast as we can to catch up with technology. So how do I convince the customers that they need to move forward with the trend, knowing fully well that so many of them, because in the North, we have this mentality of government giving us things, knowing fully well that people may not be able to afford the fee when things increases. So how do I manage that?
Thank you, John. We'll tackle, Mr. Falabi will tackle that question. We're going to take one last one. Abdurrahman, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Abdurrahman?
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning. Good evening, ma'am and sir. And I think this is actually very, very interesting. We want to appreciate the people organizing this kind of program because I just stumbled upon it some while ago and it was so interesting. But I would want, I have been missing some things because I'm visually impaired. So the screens being shared, I couldn't access them because they are not in accessible form. I would appreciate if maybe in future things like this are being done, if we will have an accessible format, or if we will be making, if there will be a place for us to make our observation so that at least in our emails we could see the shared screen so that we can read through. And secondly, I think my question is, like me, I've been into NGO services to the visually impaired and people with disability in general. I intend to use technology more, but I am lost at what kind of technology I use and how easy it be, and how affordable can it be? Because I think fund is a very important thing here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Afalabi, over to you.
All right, thank you very much for those questions. And I think I'll summarize first from the first speaker. He talked about Teach for Nigeria. I happen to be a very close friend to the founder or the CEO of Teach for Nigeria, and I know the challenges, all right, she's going through when it comes to, and she's very passionate about, the Teach for Nigeria concept. And I know funding is a big issue when it comes to technology rollout and also reaching out to lower communities. But it's a collective thing. We can't do it by ourselves. And that's why most of the clarion call is to government help to And our job as citizens is also to ensure, okay, and to work with government to ensure that education reaches, the less privileged. Because if you look at Singapore, Singapore was worse than Nigeria many years ago. I read about them, and the first thing they had to do was to make up their mind that they want to educate their citizenry. And they began to educate their citizens. They made education almost free, And as they began to educate their citizenry, it was easier, okay, for them to roll out different plans, okay, for the citizens. All right. So I agree with you. It is something that we have to do, not only by ourselves, but from the global perspective as government, to ensure that we call on government or make demands of government to ensure they fund or they put more funds into education. Because without the infrastructure, it's going to be pretty difficult. All right. And the best we can do is using our phones. But how many people can you reach with your phone? So funding through government is very critical. And because we have our states, we need to challenge our state governors. We need to challenge our local government chairmen and ensure that we're able to, okay, the less privileged when it comes to education. One of the things we also talked about is how do we ensure that we train our teachers? The easiest way is also through digital, because gathering people with COVID and today's world is pretty difficult. And it is important that we ensure that we're able to have different platforms where we can train our teachers, okay? I happen to have a brother who is also very passionate about training teachers, all right? And I know the challenges he's had, but he's been very successful. So it's a consistent or concerted effort that we need to have to ensure we are able to train and retrain our teachers. The reason why a lot of teachers are discouraged is also because of how much they're being paid, all right? You have a teacher that is being paid next to nothing. So again, we have to look at teachers' wages and find a way to encourage them. That's why a lot of teachers today, they do home service. In fact, they rather do home service than stay in one school to teach anyone, because they get more money at the end of the day. So we have to, it's a concerted effort. We have to work with government to make sure that we are able to encourage our teachers. And we need to also find different incentives, okay, for teachers to make it a lot more interesting for them. If not, it's very discouraging after you've worked so hard and at the end of the day, your take home is next to nothing. Can't even feed your family. All right. So we have to look for different ways to ensure that we have several incentives for our teachers. All right. Another thing the second speaker mentioned is, okay, how do I fund? How do I set up a school? COVID has happened. I cannot have people back in school because they're afraid of COVID. How do I ensure that I encourage them to be part of the drive for technology in schools? The truth is, you have to keep at it, all right? Not afford to give up, all right? You have to find different means of luring people to start it, okay? It's like Pringles. You say once you put, you can't stop. Once they taste it, you encourage them, they have to continue, all right? And as time goes on, it becomes a lot easier. As the owner of a school, you also have to have incentives, all right? You can decide that they should come to a particular location where you have more or less implemented the COVID thing, and you're able to do social distancing, and you roll out technology and bring the kids to learn from that particular classroom, from that particular, and they taste it and they enjoy it. They will continue it. And then you invite parents, have your parents forum and teach them, because some parents, like you rightly said, they believe that everything government pays for everything. No, invite them and educate them. First, educate the parents, then in turn, educate the kids. That's the only way that ensure that you get a buy. Again, like what I said, always focus on your customer. All right, focus on what the teachers, what the parents want. When you understand what they want, it's easier for you to again encourage them to embrace technology. So listen to them. This is one way you can listen to them and understand what their challenges are and how you can collectively, how you can solve it. The last speaker, Abdul Rahman, if I'm correct, yeah, about funding as well. Funding is a major issue. I can tell you today, there are lots of different programs to fund education, to fund agriculture, to fund a lot of these things. So you need to, again, do a lot more research, all right? Put together your proposal, send it to the right quarters, and I can bet you that you will get attention and you'll get funding for your project as long as it's a laudable project. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Afolabi, for thoroughly answering those questions. There's something that you had said earlier. You talked about University of YouTube. I tell you,
Yes.
That is such a powerful, powerful platform. I'll tell you a story. So lockdown happened. I have 2 little children. One is 7, the other is 3. And the lockdown was sudden. How do I engage these children? And I didn't want them to just sit and be watching TV all day. So we had some books and I started teaching them, but I'm not a teacher, and that's the truth. I don't have the patience, neither do I really understand the mode or the technique of imparting knowledge. So I started to, I asked the teacher, what are the things I need to teach, parts of speech and this and that, and I just started trying. But then I went into YouTube, and YouTube has videos that teaches teachers how to teach. YouTube also has videos, and all of these are free, videos that teach students some specific subjects. If you know, I can recommend Homeschool Pop, homeschoolpop.com. For those who are in edutech, especially when you are looking for affordable teaching, please go there, right? You can download, YouTube videos are downloadable. Download it and play it in a certain room so that teachers can come together and watch. That's an example. Or maybe you share it for those who have smartphones. But if they don't have smartphones, there is always that opportunity to get them to watch it at any point in time when you are together. And the one person who was talking about getting parents buying, sometimes it's difficult, and that's the truth, especially when you're talking in the space of affordability. However, in that large group, you will have 1 or 2 parents who are willing to listen. Use those ones as the examples, right? They become the best practice. Just take the ones that are willing and start to drive through them. That's a possibility. And then you prove success. It's like a proof of concept, right? And use those, and before you know it, the other parents are attracted. I just thought to add that. There are a few more questions, Afolabi, but there's something I want you to talk about. That's agency banking. When I heard it, my ears popped open, because it means that I can be an agent for banks. Tell us more about it. Some other people may be interested to start that as their own side hustle.
So agency banking is now a new drive from central bank, also from all the banks, to have financial inclusion. All right, there are several processes, procedure you need to follow, but you just go to the bank and that you want to be an agent to any of the banks, okay, and they will take you through some of the things you need to have. Agency banking is basically you going, for example, you're an agent, okay, and you go to Okeari Market or to Sura Market, for example, and the bank will give you all that you need to be their agent. So you say to, it's like so you go to the market, okay, and then you are an agent at the bank and you help them to collect their money. So, for example, their short of the day is maybe 200. So rather than them taking that money to the bank, they will give it to you as their agent. So you have a partnership with the bank where you lot that money on behalf of the bank. All right. Now, rather than them going to ATMs and all of those things, you will help on their behalf to collate all of those monies and deposit in the bank. The day they need it, you go there and help them to get. So it's more or less you're an agent to the bank. Everything that the bank would have reached out to them to do, all right, you are in that market and doing exactly what a bank would have done. All right, you be an agent to the bank. And it's amazing how a lot of people that have started this, how they're making so much money. You get a commission from the bank, for being their agent, and you'll be amazed. One of the biggest banks, there's so many of all the banks are doing it, but let me not mention, there's some banks that are so big when it comes to agency banking today in Nigeria. So I think I want to encourage everyone, go into it and learn more about agency banking. I still had a presentation earlier today, about a bank that is a new bank that is coming out by January, and they're already talking about how big they want to grow their agency banking. All right, so the opportunity is huge. The earlier you start, the better. That's starting. Even if you're working for someone, you can be an agent. So go and get all the information, like you said, get all the information online, or go to the bank and get all the information, and they will give you all that you need to start. Just to buttress the point you made earlier, to be honest, there's no age limit. I love my kids because they are IT savvy. They want to learn and learn and learn online. In fact, they prefer to learn online now than go to school. A lot more, other things. Anything I want to teach them how to paint, how to draw. I go online, print it out, and they learn from that within a very short period of time. They can learn pretty much anything. So you need to learn to teach yourself, and information is key. The difference between who you are today and what you'll be in 5 years are two basic things. One, your accessibility to information, and your network, the people you know. So keep digging for gold, digging for information, and believe me, it will make a huge difference to you in the next couple of years. This kind of important. I'm really very thankful to Innovation. This is amazing. It's the first time I'm coming onto this platform, and it's amazing. I want to encourage everyone to continue to follow them. They're doing an amazing job, and I believe that in the next few years, I'm sure that ECO will be listed on London Stock Exchange.
Oh yes, oh yes. There we go. Thank you. That's very visionary, and I'm fully aligned with that. You said it is the information that you have and your network. Amazing, right? I'm going to now connect that to a question that Owecho had asked. For someone who's planning on developing products for the top of the pyramid, other than observing similar products in that sphere, how does someone who is not really in that class interact with that class? So, so he's trying to develop products for the top of the pyramid, right?
Okay.
He has done some competitive analysis, so assessed products that are within that sphere, but he's wondering how can he penetrate that class, especially if you are not in that class as an individual. You do not belong there, but you want to offer your services in there.
I think it's a very, very important question. The truth of the matter is, in our world, one of the things we always have to always define is that what makes me unique? What is my unique selling? We call it the USP. Okay, you hear the buzzwords USP, USP, USP. USP is what is your own unique selling point. The truth is there might be 1,000 people doing exactly the same thing. But how do I'm glad that you said you've done a competitive analysis. Okay, you've tried to compare. Within that comparative analysis, you must have found something that you can do differently from what others are doing. So the question you need to answer is, what is my USP? What is my unique selling point? What will make me different from others? Okay. If people are packaging, I remember when some people started selling products, for example, and a few people were selling in different bags, nylon bags, and there's this particular company that came out with a unique package. In fact, when you see the package, you think that it came from probably New York. The way they packaged the thing, and the thing was moving, and it was so cheap. Okay. And so it's that's USP. What can I do differently? Once you're able to answer that question and you're able to identify exactly what your USP is, believe me, when you come to the market, you'll be a hot cake. But the truth is, you cannot, once you start succeeding, you must not rest on your laurels. You need to keep thinking of what can I do to continuously improve? So there has to be continuous improvement. All right. So the first thing, the question you need to answer is, what is my USP?
Excellent. Thank you very much, Afolabi. I'm going to ask you one more question. I see there are no more hands raised. I hope I've tackled all the questions in the chat box. I've checked. It looks like you have taken those questions. I have one more question, and that's about legacy businesses. Okay, so legacy businesses are those examples that you gave. I'm a shoemaker, I'm a tailor, I'm a caterer, I'm just selling food, I'm just whatever, just mainstream legacy businesses. How do these businesses connect to digital innovation or digital transformation? How?
Okay, I'll give you a practical example. Today, let's take just one, a shoemaker. All right, there's this shoemakers, the house of guys who they go door to door, banging their box, wanting to. Now the question is that if I run that 24 hours, maybe that guy is only able to visit 5 or 10 homes in a day, and out of the 10 homes in a day, maybe just 5 out of that 10 homes patronize, and he's probably made 500 naira in a day. Okay. Now, the person now sits back and says, look, how can I do this differently? And he goes to learn from the University of YouTube on how to put his business on social media. And he opens a YouTube page, opens an Instagram page, opens a Facebook page, okay? And then he goes ahead to begin to promote his business online with his number. And he says, you know what? I'm in this particular location. You just do online, what's it called? SMS, bulk SMS. Invest into your dream, all right? And say, if you have a problem with your shoe, just call this number and I will be there. And in a day, instead of him going to, maybe he's able to visit just one street. And in a day, he's able to get maybe 200 phone calls. And from that 200 phone calls, he now maps out his time in different locations. What that means is that instantly, he won't be able to handle it by himself. He will need people to support him. So he automatically will be an employer of labor. So have 100 places to visit in a day as against visiting just 5 places. So automatically, this guy becomes an employer of labor. And instead of him then charging them 200, he charges 500. From that 500, he sends maybe 3 or 4 people to those different locations. He's able to make maybe 20,000 naira in a day as against 500 naira he used to make before. Guess what? Automatically in a day, he has become an employer of labor. He has made more money. He can invest more into technology that will help him take his business to the next level. That is the lowest part of the pyramid. Okay, so as simple as that is, if only we all can look back or think, look inwards and think of how we can truly innovate. There's no business that you cannot automate. There's none. All right, you just need to think outside the box. And the moment you automate, there's some guy who walked up to me a couple of months ago and says, you know what? I know that we all have mechanics all over the place, all right? But I want to begin to, and we have also mechanics that are not well trained. So he created a certification process and say, look, mechanics, if you want a legit mechanic, go to this portal and to get your car fixed. And today, that guy is making so much money because people are tired of using all sorts of different mechanics. They say, this is what is wrong with your car today. You collect money, you come back to them. The same problem will still be happening to the car. So he began to separate the boys from the men. So he got mechanics that are actual mechanics who have gone to school to educate themselves. All right. And so he was able to separate the quack mechanics from the real mechanics, and they're making money. So the truth is, there's nothing you cannot automate. All you need to do is think about the process and ask yourself, how can I make this work? Think first with the customer in mind. Madam, I see that
I don't know. It's when I say value bombs, if someone just says you are the bomb at Mr. Okay, so real, so tangible. Thank you. I mean, you couldn't have broken it down simpler. Now we see it. Now we can even touch it. That shoemaker example is just absolutely perfect. And you look at the way you painted the picture. It's definitely a complete transformation of shoemaking business as we know it. And without a doubt, I mean, this guy is on his way to absolute to real success. So Tech Biz Nation, you've heard it all. I mean, you've heard those excellent examples. And even for me, this agency banking, I'm just even going to learn more, but I'm so intrigued about it. I'm wondering, okay, how does it work? And how do people manage? What are the pros? What are the cons of it? Thank you very much, Mr. Okay. Great job, Mr. Okay. Oguyimika just said great job. And John also says you are the bomb. Tino says fantastic exposition, even with the, So, I mean, very, very good feedback. I'm going to remember one thing you said. You said yesterday is in the tomb. Tomorrow is still in the womb. We haven't given birth to it. Today is the first day of the rest of your lives. This is the day to start to take action. It is not what you know that changes your life. It is what you do with what you know. So you have had great insights from Mr. Okay. Amazing, outstanding expositions, ideas, and the real deal. Now it is up to us to then go and execute. Afolabi, any last words from you?
I think the only last word I have is what you've summarized. Okay, we can do all the talking, we can talk from now to tomorrow, but without any action to what you know, to the information that you have, you will be the same thing you've been 10 years ago. All right, so please go to the University of YouTube and start learning something and start today, not tomorrow. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Afolabi. Thank you to Tech Biz Nation. Again, like we said, ecoicenter.com/webinar. This fantastic presentation will be there. The video will also be there for you to download, so you can reference it at any point, and you can share it with friends as well. So don't hoard the knowledge, don't hoard the information. The link to joining Tech Biz Nation is also in the group chat. Feel free to join. It's on Telegram, and it's a community of entrepreneurs that we share information and we share knowledge. And the whole idea anyway is to help you thrive and help your business thrive. Last one, I think Elvis also posted something about agency banking. So if you want to know more about agency banking, click on that link. I want to say a big thank you to Afolabi. I want to say a big thank you to my two team members on the call, Bolatito and Elvis. They've been the one at the back, adding people and doing all the back end. What did you say, please?
I said thanks to you, and thanks to Elvis as well and Bolatito. I think they're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bamidele is still saying we didn't answer his question. How does he become a digital marketing expert? Someone has answered. Digital Marketing Training Institutes, they are all over the web. Please go there. You can sharpen up your knowledge and expertise there. Have a lovely evening, and please continue to stay safe. Bye.
All right. Thank you, and God bless.